Your dismissive avoidant ex is watching your Instagram stories at 3 a.m. but won't text you back. And I'm about to tell you exactly why this contradiction is breaking their heart, too. If you've ever loved someone who seemed to forget you existed the moment you broke up, only to catch them lurking in the shadows of your life months later, you know the mind-bending confusion I'm talking about. Today, we're going behind the emotional walls of dismissive avoidance to understand the secret language of how they miss you. Because trust me, they do miss you. They're just speaking in a code you haven't learned to read yet. What you're about to discover will completely change how you interpret their seemingly cold behavior. Here are the 8 behavioral signs that indicate your dismissive avoidant ex misses you. Sign number 1. The silent digital stalking. The first sign a dismissive avoidant misses you is also the most painful to witness. They become ghosts in your digital world. They're not interacting, they're not commenting, but they're watching. Every story view, every casual scroll through your photos from 6 months ago, every time they check if you've updated your relationship status. This behavior would seem obsessive in anyone else, but for them, it's the safest way to stay connected to you without risking rejection. They're feeding their attachment system tiny doses of you, like someone rationing water in a desert. Each glimpse satisfies the craving just enough to function, but never enough to feel full. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that they often feel ashamed of this behavior. They know they're supposed to be over it. They know they're the ones who built the walls, but they can't stop themselves from needing to know you're okay. It's their way of loving you from a distance, the only way that feels safe. Sign number 2. The accidental on-purpose contact. When a dismissive avoidant misses you, they become masters of what I call emotional loopholes. Ways to contact you that technically aren't about missing you. That random text asking about something they could easily Google. That's not about the question. That's about hearing your voice in their head when they read your response. They'll find your lost earring in their car 6 months after the breakup, and suddenly it becomes urgent to return it. They'll ask about a mutual friend they could easily contact directly. They'll send you a work-related article because it reminded them of that conversation you had. Each of these contacts serves a dual purpose. It gives them a hit of connection while maintaining plausible deniability. If you respond warmly, they feel validated. If you're cold or don't respond, they can tell themselves they were just being practical. It's emotional gambling where they're trying to minimize risk while maximizing the chance of connection. The timing of these messages tells you everything. If they're coming late at night, during anniversaries of significant moments, or during times when they're likely feeling vulnerable, that's not coincidence. That's their attachment system overriding their logical brain. Sign number 3. The push-pull trauma response. This might be the most confusing sign because it feels like emotional whiplash. One day they're warm, asking about your life, maybe even flirting. The next day, they're cold and distant, like they regret every word they said. You're not dealing with someone who's playing games. You're dealing with someone whose nervous system is at war with itself. When they let their guard down and show warmth, their attachment system feels satisfied for a moment. But then their protective mechanisms kick in, flooding them with fear about being vulnerable. The coldness that follows isn't about you. It's about them panicking and slamming the emotional brakes. This pattern actually indicates intense internal conflict, which means they're feeling something significant for you. People who truly don't care don't have internal wars about it. Indifference is steady and consistent. This hot and cold pattern screams that they're missing you but fighting it every step of the way. Sign number 4. The information hunger. Dismissive avoidants become information addicts when they miss someone. They want to know everything about your life, but they'll never ask you directly. Instead, they turn your mutual friends into unwitting intelligence agents. They'll casually bring you up in conversation, fish for details about your dating life, ask if you seem happy, or if you've mentioned them. Sometimes they'll even plant information about themselves, hoping it gets back to you. "Oh, did you know I got that promotion?" Or, "I went back to that restaurant we loved." These aren't random updates. They're breadcrumbs they're hoping will somehow make their way to you. This information gathering serves multiple purposes. It helps them feel connected to your life. It gives them a sense of control in a situation where they feel powerless. And it helps them gauge whether the door might still be open for reconciliation someday. Sign number 5. The phantom presence strategy. One of the most subtle signs is when they start showing up in spaces where they know you might be. Not obviously, not directly, but just around. They'll suddenly start going to the gym you mentioned, shopping at the grocery store near your apartment, or attending events in your social circle. They're not necessarily hoping to run into you, though part of them might be. They're seeking proximity to your world because it makes them feel closer to you. It's like they're trying to breathe the same air you breathe, exist in the same spaces you exist, maintain some thread of connection, even when they can't maintain the actual relationship. This behavior often confuses even them. If you asked why they're suddenly interested in pottery classes when they've never shown artistic interest before, they might not even realize it's because you mentioned loving ceramics. Sign number 6. The identity reconstruction project. When dismissive avoidants are missing someone deeply, they often embark on dramatic life changes. New city, new job, new friend group, new hobbies, anything to create enough distance and distraction that they don't have to sit with the feelings of missing you. But here's the thing. These changes are often unconsciously designed to either bring them closer to your world or completely eliminate any reminders of you. They might move across the country, or they might move to the neighborhood you always said you wanted to live in. They might take up rock climbing because you loved adventure, or they might avoid the outdoors entirely because hiking was your thing together. These lifestyle overhauls look like healthy growth from the outside, but they're often elaborate avoidance strategies. They're trying to outrun their feelings by becoming someone new, someone who never loved you in the first place. Sign number 7. The replacement relationship phenomenon. This one stings, but it's important to understand. Dismissive avoidants often jump into new relationships quickly after a breakup, but not for the reasons you think. These aren't upgrades. They're emotional Novocaine. They choose people who are safe, surface level, and most importantly, nothing like you. If you were spontaneous, they'll date someone predictable. If you were emotionally expressive, they'll find someone reserved. They're not looking for someone better. They're looking for someone who won't trigger the same depth of feeling that you did. These relationships serve as proof to themselves that they don't need deep connection, that surface-level companionship is enough. But the relationships rarely last because they're built on avoidance rather than genuine compatibility. They're trying to use another person to avoid dealing with how much they miss you. Sign number 8. The memory preservation paradox. While dismissive avoidants are masters at acting like the past doesn't matter, they're often secret curators of relationship memories. They'll keep photos hidden in folders they claim to never look at. They'll save voicemails you left. They'll hold on to gifts or mementos while insisting they mean nothing. Sometimes they'll even preserve bigger things, keeping the apartment you shared, maintaining friendships with people who remind them of you, or continuing routines you established together. They're creating emotional museums while pretending they've moved on completely. This preservation behavior is their way of honoring the relationship while maintaining emotional distance from it. They can't throw these things away because they represent something meaningful. But they can't acknowledge their importance either, because that would mean admitting how much you mattered. Understanding that your dismissive avoidant ex misses you doesn't mean you should wait for them or try to fix them. What it does mean is that their coldness probably isn't the whole truth about how they feel. They're not heartless. They're terrified. They're not unaffected. They're overwhelmed. The signs we've explored today reveal people who love deeply, but have learned to hide it so well that even they struggle to recognize it. Their missing you looks like digital surveillance, accidental contact, hot and cold behavior, and elaborate avoidance strategies, because direct emotional expression feels too dangerous. Your pain in this situation is valid, and so is theirs. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is understand someone's limitations while protecting your own heart. You deserve someone who can love you openly, and they deserve the chance to heal their attachment wounds. But those are separate journeys that may or may not intersect again. If this helped you understand your situation better, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.